sport fans. This is Bob Robertson greeting you from the roller derby. This match between the Chiefs and the Ravens, the second half is underway, and the score is 23-22 with the Ravens out in front by 1 point. We are in the first girls skating period of the second half. Number 22 there was the Chiefs' Jerry Murray, one of the real top skaters in roller derby today, and a real veteran. Jerry and Loretta Behrens having a few words right now as they will both be wearing jammers helmets, and the pack is forming once again. For those of you not familiar with roller derby, the skaters wearing the striped helmets are called jammers. They are the only skaters who may score or call off the jam. The jam is the 90-second period in which a score may be made. They start with the 4 jammers at the rear of the pack. When they're all together at the rear, a whistle sounds. Then they try to get one jammer out in front, as Judy McGuire, number 25, just did there for the Chiefs. She's followed by Loretta Behrens, number 54 for the Ravens, number 22, Jerry Murray for the Chiefs, and number 51, Dolores Doss for the Ravens. All 4 jammers are out. From the time the jam time of 90 seconds got underway, they must try and circle the track, and a jammer can score 1 point for each member of the other team that skater laps and passes. So watch the action now as each team has 2 jammers out with good scoring potential. 23-22, the Ravens lead. Dolores Doss of the Ravens, number 51, is now the lead jammer, but there are 4 skaters closing at the rear of the pack. Watch the action here. Doss goes by and cuts it off. Dolores Doss got 2 points and then cut it off. Only the lead jammer may cut off the jam by placing hands on hips. And that's what Dolores Doss of the Ravens, number 51, did there. And that makes the score 25-22 in favor of the Ravens. So the Ravens have the lead. And now we have a timeout called on the track. 5 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in this skating period for the girls. The first girls skating period in the second half. And the score, the Ravens 25, the Chiefs 22. The skaters are moving on the track once again. The Ravens moving towards you right now. The Chiefs on the far side of the track. And as soon as the pack is reformed, the whistle will sound and everybody will be moving again. Speeds up to 30 miles an hour and better for the girls. The men will hit speeds of 40 and better. Tremendous speeds attained on this bank track by the roller derby skaters, and the blocking is always rough and tumble. All right, here we go. The roller derby action has started once again. Watch the activity. The first whistle is sounded. Now the striped helmet jammers try to work their way through to the front. Behrens and Murray are the blockers up front working on each other. And every time they get together, things get rough. Sparks fly. Out in front goes number 55, Barbara O'Leary for the Ravens. The jam time is underway. 90 seconds now in which either team may score. Joe Ruffino, number 28, is out there for the Chiefs. And number 33, or 23, I beg your pardon, Lorraine DeVries is out there also for the Chiefs. Jean Porter, number 53, a blocker only, is out for the Ravens. She cannot score, but she'll block back on one of those Chiefs. Your lead jammer is still Barbara O'Leary, number 55, for the Ravens. She has the lead, but Joe Ruffino is right at her heels, number 28 for the Chiefs, as they close at the rear of the pack. Murray, number 22 for the Chiefs, and Behrens, number 54 for the Ravens. Back to do the blocking, and O'Leary is forced off onto the infield, the lead jammer, and that calls off the jam. Anytime the lead jammer goes off onto the infield or falls, the jam is automatically called off. And Jerry Murray that time forced Barbara O'Leary of the Ravens off the track, so the jam was called off. We have 4 minutes left in the skating period for the girls. 25-22, the Ravens lead the Chiefs. The pack reforming. All the skaters must keep moving with the exception of those skaters who were jammers on the preceding jam. Jammers on the preceding jam are allowed to rest along the rail while the pack reforms. Anyone else who stops to rest will be penalized 2 minutes for delay of the game. All right, start. The girls have the jamming helmets exchanged now. And as soon as Joe Ruffino, number 28, moves up as a blocker, there's the first whistle. We're underway once again. All four jammers were together at the rear of the pack. Now they'll try to get one jammer out to start the time. There's no time limit on how long they can battle trying to get a skater out. Judy McGuire, number 25, gets a whip for the Chiefs, and out she goes. And out after her on a whip comes number 52, Joanne Coons for the Ravens. One jammer out for each team now. We're in the first skating period of the second half. Judy McGuire for the Chiefs. Joanne Coons for the Ravens. They are the jammers out there. Nobody else out on the jam at the present time. The other jammer's still back in the pack. Down goes Joanne Coons. Coons went down, and it leaves Judy McGuire now as the lone jammer out there. O'Leary tries to get out for the Ravens, but Joe Ruffino holds her back. And now coming up on the rear of the pack is number 25, Judy McGuire. Back to block is number 54, Loretta Little Iodine Behrens for the Ravens. Watch the action now as McGuire tries to score. Behrens sends her up towards the rail. Down on the play goes Coons again. Down goes Margaret Brady, and by for 2 points so far has gone number 25, Judy McGuire. As Jerry Murray has done some fine blocking, dumping two of the Ravens. Working on Behrens now. Behrens still blocks back on Judy McGuire. There'll be a whip coming up, but down goes Murray, and down goes McGuire as Behrens got them. And 2 points for Judy McGuire before she fell. Jerry Murray did some real good blocking. Knocked down two of the Ravens, Joanne Coons and Margaret Brady. And when she tried to get Loretta Behrens, Behrens won out, and not only did Jerry Murray go down, but so did number 25, the lead jammer there, little Judy McGuire. There's Judy resting along the rail now as the pack reforms. And it looks like Jerry Murray has been waved off the track. As she stopped up there along the rail to talk with Judy McGuire, Jerry Murray has been sent to the penalty box for 2 minutes for delay of the game. So Murray is waved off the track, and the Chiefs are now one skater short. A delay of game penalty against Jerry Murray, and she's not happy about it, believe you me. Margaret Brady, number 56, takes the lead for the Ravens as the jammer. 25-24, the Ravens lead. We have less than a minute to go now in the girls' skating period. Margaret Brady is out on the jam. Number 23, Lorraine DeVries, there also breaks out for the Chiefs. But Brady is the only one with much chance to score here, with 41 seconds remaining now in the skating period and in the jam. There's the pack. They're waiting now for the lead jammer, Margaret Brady, as the Ravens try to slow down the Chiefs and make it possible for Brady to catch up. The Ravens doing the blocking. Brady now catches up to Judy McGuire with 22 seconds to go in the skating period. McGuire blocks on Brady, blocks again. Brady looking for help from Loretta Behrens, number 54. Behrens trying to throw McGuire off balance. McGuire still blocking, doing a fine job back there. 9 seconds to go now. Brady again tries to go by. Brady can't get by Judy McGuire yet. There are 2 seconds left, 1 second, and time is out. The skating period comes to an end without a score there. And after a wide open first half, the gals didn't do too much scoring here in this skating period. The girls' skating period is over. The track will once again be turned over to the men. With the score at changeover time, the Ravens 25 and the Chiefs 24. Number 56 there, resting along the rail, was Margaret Brady of the Ravens. She was a jammer on the last jam. Now the men will take the track. And as they do so, the Chiefs will be one man short. Billy Gardner, number 26, will sit out the remainder of Jerry Murray's penalty. Not much time remaining in it, but Gardner will sit out the remainder of the penalty and will come onto the track when the penalty time is up. Penalty times carry over from one skating period to the next, and scores accumulate. Roller derby played in 8 12-minute skating periods, the men and the girls alternating. The only game in the world in which the men and the women compete under the same rules on equal terms, and the scores accumulate for an eventual winner. Now away we go as the men take the track. And Jay Shaw, number 29 of the Chiefs, breaks out on the outside, then goes down to the inside of the track as he has the lead. Julian Silva, a jammer out there now for the Ravens. And Gene Gammon, number 22, is out for the Chiefs. Gammon is only a blocker. Number 22, wearing the solid color helmet, blocks out on Silva, but Butch Nurr slips by him, and there's still a jammer out for each team. And now Don Ricksman, number 52, goes out as a blocker for the Ravens. 29, Jay Shaw, being blocked back by Nurr. Ricksman picks him up and blocks on Shaw. A second jammer comes out for the Chiefs now. Buddy Atkinson Jr., the son of the coach, number 24. As Ricksman continues to block on Shaw, the penalty time has elapsed, and the teams once again are at equal strength. Atkinson gets by Ricksman. Silva blocks on Shaw. And still leading is Butch Nurr of the Ravens, number 55, out on that jam. He is the number 1 jammer. Silva moves up on Buddy Atkinson Jr. They're both closing on Butch Nurr, and they're both jammers. 3 jammers now moving in at the rear of the pack. 2 Ravens and 1 for the Chiefs. Gardner, number 26, is back there to block for the Chiefs. Butch Nurr, number 55 of the Ravens, wearing the striped helmet, showing he's a jammer, moves up to try and score. Watch now at the rear of the pack. Here comes Nurr. Buddy Atkinson Jr. right on his heels. Julian Silva is also there. Nurr and Atkinson battle now. Time getting short on the jam. Nurr trying to fight his way by is forced off the track by Gardner. The jam is off. No points scored. No score there. It remains the Ravens 25, the Chiefs 24. Number 25, Mike Gammon, and number 23, Joe Rabin for the Chiefs now come in as jammers. Buddy Atkinson Sr. trying to get the most out of his Chief team by changing jammers on almost every jam. He has 4 players that he considers jammers, and he keeps switching them. Right now, Mike Gammon and Joe Rabin are in there. Nurr and Silva, number 55 and 53, are the jammers for the Ravens. Nobody out in front yet. Mike Gammon trying to get out. Gatchel blocks on him. Now Rabin goes to the front with a block from Gene Gammon, and the Chiefs have the lead jammer out there. The Ravens lead the game 25-24. Circling the track is Joe Rabin. After him goes Butch Nurr, but Gene Gammon blocks him back, and the Ravens do not have a jammer out yet. The field is strung out now. The pack is strung out over about a fourth of the track. They'll have to close up before any points are scored. Joe Rabin having trouble opening up on them. Now here's a whip that sends Julian Silva by Gene Gammon and out there, and each team now has 1 jammer out. And still they're having a little difficulty catching up to the pack, which is really rolling right now. Here comes Mike Gammon, number 25, out of the pack. He got a whip and came flying out of there. There are now 2 Chiefs and 1 Raven out on that jam. Julian Silva out for the Ravens. Blocks on Joe Rabin, goes by to take the lead momentarily. Rabin blocks on him now, but Silva still holds the lead. Silva's out in front. Now turns on a burst of speed and pulls away from Joe Rabin. Gardner, number 26, back to block. Gardner blocking as Silva moves up. Janowitz there to help out Silva, who is blocked hard and cuts it off as 2 jammers moved up on Hal Janowitz. Janowitz was back there to help out Julian Silva, and Silva, realizing that there were 2 Chief jammers moving up behind blocking Hal Janowitz, decided to call it off. That's the prerogative of the lead jammer only. He can place his hands on his hips and call off the jam. That's what Silva did. No points were scored. We have 7 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the men's skating period, the 6th skating period of the game. And the score is still 25-24. The Ravens leading the Chiefs. Skaters moving on the track, waiting to pick up Buddy Atkinson Jr. right now. His dad, the coach of the Chiefs, was a skater for many years himself and one of the very best. Right now, he's one of the most volatile, vociferous, and versatile guys in the coaching profession. Buddy Atkinson Jr., number 24, the Chiefs, goes out on the lead. He's the top jammer right now. And number 54, Dave Battersby of the Ravens, is right with him. 29, Jay Shaw of the Chiefs. And number 56, Frank Macedo of the Ravens. All 4 jammers are out. They're all out there now. Watch the action as as a battle for the lead spot and the best scoring potential spot. You don't have to be the lead jammer to score, but of course, if you're out in front, you have the best chance. Your lead jammer is Jay Shaw. Macedo is with him as Battersby and Atkinson have pretty well slowed each other down now so that they are no longer in the scoring picture. Moving up at the rear of the pack are Macedo and Shaw, and Macedo cut it off as Billy Gatchel fell. Gatchel, a blocker for the Ravens, went down, and Frank Macedo called it off as the lead jammer, so Jay Shaw could not get by. And the Ravens now have called a timeout as Bill Gatchel there was shaken up a little bit when he fell. And timeout called by the Ravens. 6 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in this skating period, and the score, the Ravens 25 and the Chiefs 24. Now we're ready to go once again. Bob Robertson at the roller derby. And the action is underway as the timeout period has ended and the skaters are once more moving on the track. Jammers all in position now. Billy Gardner, number 26, wears a jammer's helmet, tries to get out of there for the Chiefs. Has a battle, however, for the lead, but he does get out. All four jammers go out. Gardner, number 26, and Joe Rabin, number 23. And it is called off. It's called off. Billy Gardner put his hands on his hips and called it off. He may have just inadvertently put the hands on the hips. Tex Rohr, the referee, got the signal and called it off. 25-24, 1 point lead in favor of the Ravens. Now watch the action as Frank Macedo of the Ravens, number 56, finally breaks out in front. Dave Battersby goes with him. Billy Gardner, number 26 of the Chiefs, goes out. Joe Rabin, number 23 of the Chiefs, is out. All four jammers are out in front. All four jammers battling now. As they're tightly bunched, Macedo has the lead, and Battersby is trying to block back on the two Chief jammers to help his teammate Frank Macedo open up some ground. Macedo has a fair lead, nothing safe, as Joe Rabin, number 23, goes after him. There's Macedo, the front man, as he closes now at the rear of the pack. Number 51, Raven coach Hal Janowitz, and number 52, Don Ricksman, are back there to block. For the Chiefs, number 28, Big Ken Willis is back, and Macedo got by him and cuts it off with 1 point. Frank Macedo squirmed by Ken Willis and then cut off the jam. And the score now is 26-25, or check that, 26-24 in favor of the Ravens. A 2-point lead for the Ravens over the Chiefs. 4 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in this men's skating period. Then the girls will be back on the track for their final appearance in the game. Number 24 there is one of the biggest and most promising of the roller derby skaters. Number 24, Buddy Atkinson Jr. for the Chiefs. He is going to be one of the great blockers of the game. And he certainly is one of the fine young skaters right now. At this moment, Buddy Atkinson Jr. is your lead jammer as he breaks out in front. Butch Nur, number 55 of the Ravens, goes after him. Mike Gammon, number 25, wearing a blocker's helmet, is also out there. And 53, Julian Silva for the Ravens. So there are two Raven jammers out after Atkinson. And little Mike Gammon is a blocker only, but he's blocked out of the play momentarily. He cannot score or cut it off. Buddy Atkinson Jr., your lead jammer, a big fella. Moves up now on Hal Janowitz, the Raven coach. Janowitz blocks on him. Gatchel goes down, and by goes Buddy Atkinson Jr., and then cuts it off with 1 point. Atkinson got by Gatchel, who had gone down, and then called it off with 1 point. It's his first point as a jammer in the game, and makes the score now the Ravens 26 and the Chiefs 25. We have 3 minutes and 19 seconds left in the skating period. And you'll notice that most of the skaters keep moving. Only Only those who were jammers on the preceding jam are allowed to stop along that rail. Anybody who was a blocker on the last jam who stops to rest will pick up a 2-minute penalty for delay of the game. There's the whistle as everybody's in position, and away we go. At the head of the pack, Gatchel blocking on Gene Gammon. Gammon goes right back out in front. There's a great one for you. Very seldom ever jams, but big Gene Gammon is one of the very fine blockers. A tough man to get by. First jammer, Billy Gardner, number 26, finally gets his position out in front to start the time. Following him now is number 23, Joe Rabin. So far, no Raven jammers out there. Silva tried it, but Gene Gammon held him back in the pack. Billy Gardner, number 26, the lead jammer. Number 23, Joe Rabin, is also out. Both are Chiefs. Silva and Gammon now go onto the infield of the track, battling to try and get out of there. And Silva is waved back into the pack. So the Ravens have not been able to get a jammer out. It's strictly a defensive jam now for the Ravens, as the Chiefs, trailing by 1 point, have 2 men out there with a scoring potential of 10 points. Each man could score 5 points. Now a couple of Ravens break out. Don Ricksman, number 52, a blocker, and Butchner. Raven wiggles through for 1 point there as he got by Janowitz. They're still battling. Raven gets by for at least 1, maybe 2 more. Now goes by Silva for 1 more, looking to see whether or not to cut it off. Gardner tried to cut it off, but he's not the lead jammer back there in the pack, number 26. They're strung out all over the track now. Bill Gatchel still out in front as Janowitz finally forces Joe Rabin off into the infield. Let's see whether he got 3 or 4 points on the play. The referees now trying to add up points to see whether it came to 3, 4, or, as Buddy Atkinson Sr. is claiming, 5. See what they finally give them. It was 26-25 in favor of the Ravens. And we're waiting right now for the signal from the officials down in the infield. They said 3 points. 3 points for Joe Rabin of the Chiefs. And the score now becomes 28-26. The Chiefs out in front of the Ravens. We have 37 seconds remaining now in this skating period. Doubtful there'll be any more scoring in the men's skating period. Then the girls will take over the track once again. Jammers trying to get out of there. 25 seconds to go in the skating period. Macedo goes high, can't get out. Now he'll get a whip from Janowitz. Goes low on the track, tries to wiggle through, is blocked by Mike Gammon. And Jay Shaw, number 29 of the Chiefs, got out there, but Macedo takes the lead away from him. Macedo of the Ravens, and he cuts it off. With 5 seconds remaining in the jam, Macedo decided to cut it off. And now time runs out on the skating period. The skating period has ended. Number 22 there is big Gene Gammon of the Chiefs. And now the girls prepare to come back onto the track. It's changeover time at the roller derby, as the men now will turn the track over to their skating partners on the girls' team. And the girls will see what they can do with the point standing. As right now, the Chiefs lead 28-26. This will be the final appearance on the track for the girls. The men will have 1 more skating period. All right, everybody's moving now. There go the girls. And we'll have the changeover. Skaters hoping that nobody falls here at the front of the group, as all 20 skaters are moving at high speed. At the time of the changeover, the skaters are actually moving faster than a sprinter in the 100-yard dash. They're doing around 25 miles an hour at changeover time. All right, the action starts now. The jammers in position. The first whistle has sounded. And remember, it's the jammers who are the only skaters who can score, the ones wearing the striped helmets. They have to get a position at the front of the pack, then lap the field, and they score 1 point for every member of the opposing team they lap and pass. Lorraine DeVries, number 23 of the Chiefs, breaks out in front, but Dolores Doss, number 51 of the Ravens, takes the lead away. Doss leads, then DeVries of the Chiefs, and now Joanne Coons, number 52 for the Ravens, out there. Blocks on DeVries. Number 28, Joe Ruffino, is also out for the Chiefs, so all four jammers are out and going. All four jammers skating. That's Dolores Doss, gracefully leading the pack as Joanne Coons blocks back on the two Chiefs and keeps them from closing ground on Dolores Doss or the pack. Coons doing a fine blocking job there on two members of the Chiefs, and Dolores Doss now is catching up at the rear of the pack. Jerry Murray, number 22, is back to block as Doss moves up. Murray blocks. Doss goes high to the rail, tries to go by. Gene Porter, number 53, there to help out for the Ravens. Jerry Murray blocking on Dolores Doss. Porter blocks on Murray, and Doss still can't get by. Doss now tries to fake her way by. Goes high on the track again. Murray still blocking as Doss tries to get by. Now Porter prepares to give a whip to Doss. Does, and Dolores moves up fast, is blocked, and down she goes. A good block by Jerry Murray, and Dolores Doss is dumped on the track and helped up by her coach, Hal Janowitz. Janowitz skated up onto the track to help his fallen team member. So we have 10 minutes and 5 seconds now remaining in this skating period, the final skating period for the girls. And the score is the Chiefs 28 and the Ravens 26. All right, the girls are all moving on the track. Here we go, the jammers in position at the rear of the pack. The first whistle has sounded. Jerry Murray and Judy McGuire are jammers for the Chiefs. Joanne Coons and Gene Porter are the jammers. Check it, Loretta Behrens and Gene Porter are the jammers for the Ravens. Gene Porter breaks out in front, and Jerry Murray goes right with her. Porter of the Ravens, number 53. Murray, number 22 for the Chiefs. Loretta Behrens, number 54, is also out for the Ravens, and Judy McGuire, number 25 for the Chiefs. Down goes Porter as Murray blocked on her. Behrens comes up on Murray now and tries to get in between McGuire and Murray. McGuire blocks back on Behrens. A block by Behrens, and down goes little Judy McGuire, and now it's Loretta Behrens and Jerry Murray, and watch them battle for the lead. Two fast skaters, two rough blockers. Behrens goes down as Murray blocked on her. And now Jerry Murray is the only jammer out there in scoring position. As she moves up, Doss and Porter are ready to block. Murray goes to the top of the track on the rail. Porter blocking on her. Now she tries to go down to the lower side, and Dolores Doss, number 51, is there. Porter, 53. Here's a whip that sends Murray into the middle. She breaks through for 2 points. Then little Iodine Behrens, number 54, blocks her. Doss blocks her. Porter hits Murray. Murray is still on her feet. She has 2 points so far in the jam. Porter blocks. McGuire blocks on Porter, and Murray tries to go by on the rail. She is blocked by Dolores Doss. Tries to go to the inside again. She got by Doss again, but still only gets the 1 point for passing Dolores twice. Doss with an elbow block to the chin, and down goes Jerry Murray, 2 points. The jam is off as Jerry Murray gets her 10th point of the game and was knocked down. With 7.5 minutes remaining in the final skating period for the girls, the men have 1 skating period left to go. And the 2 points by Jerry Murray mean the Chiefs now lead by 4 points in the game, 30-26. A 30-26 lead, 4 points for the Chiefs. Number 22 there is Jerry Murray. And a delay of game penalty has been called against the Chiefs' Helen Christner, number 26, who was a blocker and stopped for a rest. And now Loretta Behrens has been waved into the penalty box for resting along the rail. Loretta Behrens of the Ravens has been waved in. There's Christner of the Chiefs in the penalty box. And Loretta Behrens has now been flagged off the track for 2 minutes for the Ravens. There she goes into the sin bin for 2 minutes. And so the teams will skate 4 aside now for the next 2 minutes. 6.5 minutes to go in the skating period. All right, they're battling for position. Each team has its 2 jammers, and Jerry Murray breaks out in front, number 22 for the Chiefs. Murray is out in front and flying now around that bank track. She'll hit speeds of better than 30 miles an hour. Murray is out in front. And now breaking out of that pack comes number 56, Margaret Brady for the Ravens. Joe Ruffino, number 28, a blocker, is with her wearing the solid-colored helmet for the Chiefs. She is a blocker only. Murray still has a big lead. She is the number 1 jammer. Jerry Murray in the dark uniform for the Chiefs, moving up on the rear of the pack now. Remember, if a team is short-handed, you get 5 points if you pass every member they have on the track. So even though each side has only 4 players out there, 5 points could be scored by passing the entire opposing team. Murray has the lead, but Margaret Brady now closes up on her. Each team has a jammer in scoring position. Ruffino blocks back on Margaret Brady. She had come out on the jam and went all the way around. Now Murray moves up on Jean Porter. Murray blocked by Porter, couldn't get by. Had her helmet knocked askew. Still trying to get by there. And is pushed off onto the infield. Ran over a chair and slams into the rail. Jerry Murray blocked off the track onto the infield, and it calls off the jam as Jean Porter did the blocking. A good block by Jean Porter. There's Jerry Murray. And now we have a timeout called on the track with 4 minutes and 59 seconds remaining in the girls' skating period. And the score at the timeout, the Chiefs 30, the Ravens 26. Those are the Chief skaters, and they are getting ready to go as the timeout period is at an end. Ready for more high-flying roller derby action. This is Bob Robertson as the skaters are moving on the track. The penalty time has elapsed. The teams once again are at full strength. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the girls' skating period, and the Chiefs lead the Ravens 30-26. All set to go now. As a battle for position, Jean Porter tries to get out for the Ravens and does, number 53. Porter breaks out in front. Judy McGuire, number 25 for the Chiefs, goes out after her. And those 2 speedy skaters are on the move now as the lead jammers. There's Jean Porter, one of the 2 full-blooded Indians skating in the roller derby. And she is really moving. Judy McGuire is right at her heels for the Chiefs, number 25. 2 fine skaters, each of them a potentially great scorer, and down goes McGuire as Porter through the good block. Now the Ravens have the only jammer out there as Jean Porter closes up at the rear of the pack. There's a block on Behrens by Jerry Murray, and trying to avoid her teammate, Jean Porter fell. Loretta Behrens was knocked down by Jerry Murray, and she was a real roadblock. And look at her watching Jerry Murray as Murray skates by. Behrens was dumped, and in trying to avoid tripping over her teammate, Jean Porter, the lead jammer, lost her footing and also went down. So now the skaters are moving once again. Behrens this time will become a jammer, and so will Jerry Murray. So those 2 arch rivals will be jammers this time around. 3 minutes and 15 seconds left now in the skating period for the girls. The blocking is rough and tough already back in the pack. 30-26, the Chiefs lead the Ravens. The men will have 1 more skating period to go after the girls finish with the track this time. Look at the blocking in that pack as each team tries to get a jammer out in front. Nobody up there yet. Nobody out in front. The jammers all still pretty well back in the pack. In fact, right now, all 4 of them are still in those tail-end positions where they started. Nobody's been able to work the way through. Murray gave McGuire a push, but Judy couldn't get through that time. Now Murray tries to get through. She's up to the middle of the pack, gives a whip to Judy McGuire. Judy goes out to the outside, got by that time, and goes to the lead. Number 25, Judy McGuire, and out after her goes Loretta Little Iodine Behrens, number 54. Behrens of the Ravens and Judy McGuire. Jerry Murray, number 22 of the Chiefs, and Gene Porter, number 53 of the Ravens, are also out. All four jammers are on the move now. Porter missed a block there on Murray. Murray blocks back on Porter. Down goes McGuire. They both jumped over her beautifully, but down they go. Murray and Porter went down as Judy McGuire was blocked and knocked down by Loretta Behrens. And Behrens is now the only jammer out there. McGuire drops back to block on Loretta Little Iodine Behrens. So does Jerry Murray. Here comes Behrens. Loretta, number 54, the only potential scorer, puts her head down, goes by Helen Christner for 1 point. Well, it was Joe Ruffino she passed. Got by Ruffino for 1 point. Looking for some blocking help now, ducks by 2 more. Now tries to go by Christner. She does. That's 4 points. She has only one skater to pass now as Murray works on Behrens and dumps her over the rail head first. The jam is off. 4 points for Loretta Behrens. Behrens ties the score at 30-30. She got by 4 members of the Chiefs that time with 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining. Loretta Behrens picked up 4 points to tie the game. And now she's jawing away at Jerry Murray as Murray went by. Little Iodine with a fiery red-headed temper picked up 4 big points for her team to tie the score. 47 seconds left in the skating period now for the girls, and then the men will be on the track for their final 12-minute skating period. The score tied 30-30. Tremendous excitement at the roller derby as the teams battle for the lead. The jammers in position. Now watch the action again. Jerry Murray goes to the low side of the track and fights her way through, takes the lead. Behrens goes out with her. Watch Loretta now as she blocks on Murray. Murray now starts to block back on Behrens. They battle each other. 12 seconds to go. Behrens blocks on Murray. These two scrapping and fighting now. Look out, there's a block on Behrens, and down she goes. Murray won that engagement and has the lead. As Behrens is down, time is out, and Jerry Murray fell. And oh, is she unhappy. And here comes Loretta Behrens, and she's laughing now at Jerry Murray. Murray says one of the fellas on the Ravens men team had something to do with her falling down. And now it's time for the men to take over the track for the final 12-minute skating period of the game. The girls will turn the track over to the men. We have 12 minutes remaining in the contest with a score of the Chiefs 30 and the Ravens 30. It's all tied up as we come to the changeover for the final time in this game. All 20 skaters will be out there and moving as the men have 12 minutes remaining in the game. They will have the track. They're lined up ready to start moving. Here they go. The girls already are out and moving. Here comes the changeover. And the men now have the track with 12 minutes remaining. This is the final skating period of the contest. It's tied 30-30. Led at halftime by a score of 22-20, and away we go. Your jammer out in front is number 55, Butch Nur for the Ravens. Number 23, Joe Rabin for the Chiefs, is right behind him. I know that must be a little confusing with Rabin skating for the Chiefs against the Ravens. But now Rabin, number 23, takes the lead away from Butch Nur. Number 25, Mike Gammon, and number 53, Julian Silva, are also out as jammers now. So all 4 jammers are out there, and they're pretty close together, as you'll notice. Let's watch the action now as the skaters battle for that lead spot. Silva blocking back on Raven is blocked in turn by Mike Gammon. Gammon is blocked by Butch Nur, but got by momentarily. They still fight for position as they move up at the rear of the pack. Number 22, Gene Gammon, back to block for the Chiefs. Number 57, Bill Gatchell, back to block for the Ravens. I think Mike Gammon may have gotten by Billy Gatchell there as they battle for position. Gatchell again goes out in front of Mike Gammon, and your lead jammer is Butch Nur. Nur moving up on Gene Gammon. Number 22, Mike Gammon still trying to get by Billy Gatchell. He may have opened up enough daylight to receive credit for a point. We'll find that out when the jam is over. He's by now. He went by in front once again. Nur still can't get by Gene Gammon, and Mike Gammon is still trying to get by Billy Gatchell again to move up on the pack. Time running out on the jam. And there it is. Time is out. 1 point scored by Mike Gammon as he passed Bill Gatchell. Mike Gammon, number 25 for the Chiefs, credited with 1 point on the play for passing Billy Gatchell, number 57 of the Ravens. 10 minutes remaining in the game. Chiefs 31, Ravens 30. Jammers in the last jam taking a breather along the rail now, waiting to fall into position at the rear of the pack. 55 is Butch Nur. Number 53 is high-flying Julian Silva, who owns the quarter-mile time trial record for roller derby skaters. Now everybody in position, the first whistle, and away we go. Jammers start at the rear of the pack, except at the start of the game and the start of the second half. On those two occasions, the Jammers start at the head of the pack, and the jam is underway immediately. Nobody out in front yet. The 92nd time for a scoring period has not yet started. The jam is not underway. The jam starts when a jammer gets out in front. Nur now fights his way on the inside of the track. He'll get a whistle if he gets out in front, and that'll start the time. Billy Gardner, a blocker only for the Chiefs, staying out in front of him there. The Chiefs consuming some time now. Here comes Julian Silva, number 53. Number 24 for the Chiefs is Buddy Atkinson Jr. Nur blocks him, and Nur and Silva get out in front. Silva almost fell, but Nur takes the lead. Now Silva blocks on Gardner. Gardner for the Chiefs, number 26, is not a jammer. He cannot score. He cannot call it off. He's a blocker only. He's out there to help his teammates. We have 8.5 minutes left to go in the game now. The Chiefs lead 31-30. It's pretty tough to make 1 point stand up that long, but they might try it. Gardner certainly doing a good job trying to get out of there now. Buddy Atkinson Jr. is forced off into the infield. He'll have to go back into the pack. And out in the lead goes Butch Nur, number 55 for the Ravens. Nur has the lead, but Gardner gets inside him again, blocks him up against the rail, and Nur goes over and off the track. Butch Nur, number 55, was blocked by Billy Gardner. He went over the rail at the highest point of the track, at the top of the 45-degree bank, and big Butch Nur flipped over the rail, somersaulted onto the concrete floor below. He fell about 4 or 5 feet onto his back on the concrete, and Trainer Peterson is over there to see if he's all right. Well, Butch is back on his skates. Skating along the outside of the track now to get to the gate, and Butch Nur is back on the track and returns to the Raven bench. There's little question that he was shaken up on the play. And Gardner, who blocked him off the track at that point, goes over to see if he's all right. The competitive spirit is always there, but you always hate to injure an opponent and knock him down all right. And injuries do occur. They occur quite commonly in roller derby. Anytime you fall at these speeds, you can figure somebody's liable to get hurt. But these skaters hate to see a teammate or an opponent go flying over that rail, because that is the really dangerous move. All right, here we go once again. The jam is underway. Nur is out of the game. Dave Battersby, number 54, has taken a jammer spot. Battersby for the Ravens, and number 29, Jay Shaw, get out there as the lead jammers. Shaw for the Chiefs, Battersby for the Ravens. Along that track. Battersby blocks on Shaw. And Dave Battersby has the lead. He's a long-legged young fellow who can really move. Now Frank Macedo also gets out of the pack for the Ravens. Not very far out as Gardner's riding herd on him. Gammon tries to come out, and Janowitz blocked on him to hold him in. So we still have only two jammers clearly out of there, and they are moving up on a pack that is strung out all over the track now. Rixman back to block on Shaw and give Battersby some help. Willis, the only chief back there, trying to race away from Gatchel. Battersby gets by Willis and cuts it off. 1 point for the Ravens. Battersby got by to cut it off. 1 point for the Ravens to tie the score at 31-31. It's a tie score now as Dave Battersby picked up his 6th point of the game, passing Ken Willis on the play, and we have a timeout called on the track below. 6 minutes and 48 seconds remain in the game, and the score is tied. The Chiefs 31, the Ravens 31. The timeout period is at an end, and the skaters are back on the track. With 6 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in the game, and the score tied 31-31, the Chiefs and the Ravens. This is Bob Robertson, all set to bring you the final minutes of action in this tremendous contest. Battersby goes out in front, number 54 for the Ravens, Dave Battersby. And a whip sends Mike Gammon after him, and a slap on the back sends Joe Rabin out also. And also out there for the Ravens now is Frank Macedo, number 56. Little Mike Gammon blocked by to take the lead. He battles Battersby for the front spot. All four jammers are out now as both teams want to get the big points in this game. They're tied 31-31. And the skaters are racing around that track. They're moving fast. Macedo, and moving up there now. Well, we've got a call from down below. The scoreboard clock hadn't started. Now it's going. The clock is rolling. Momentarily, the clock had jammed. Gatchel is blocked up onto the rail. He is passed by Mike Gammon, and then Gammon immediately calls it off for 1 point. Mike Gammon got by for 1 point. And the Chiefs go back out into the lead again by a score of 32-31. Gatchel, number 57, and Willis, number 28, having words, as it was Willis who blocked Gatchel onto the rail, allowing Gammon to get by for the point. Gatchel, the only skater out there, wearing a football-style helmet with a regular face guard. The others all wear a standard roller derby helmet. And away we go with Julian Silva breaking out in front. And skaters are down all over the track. What may have been a bad fall, and two men are out. Two men are unconscious on that track. One member of each team down and apparently knocked out as skaters spilled all over the track. Julian Silva had just broken out in front as a jammer for the Ravens. And skaters tumbled in all directions. And right now there are two skaters still down on the track. We'll try and find out who they are for you. We'll try to get a look and see who they are. But there are two skaters down there on the track. I think one from each team. Looks like perhaps Hal Janowitz for the Ravens, number 51, the playing coach. It is Hal Janowitz, and he is starting now to sit up out there. There's Hal, number 51. He was one of the two men who was knocked out on the play. And the other, I think, was Buddy Atkinson, Jr. He is still down. Buddy Atkinson, Jr., number 24 for the Chiefs. The son of the team coach is being helped up now. See how Buddy is. He is being helped to his feet by his dad, the team coach, Buddy Atkinson, Sr., and by the trainer, Dr. Carl Peterson. As a pileup of skaters saw two men, Hal Janowitz of the Ravens and Buddy Atkinson, Jr. of the Chiefs, knocked unconscious. Well, they're both up now. Buddy, number 24 there, is on his feet. And a hand for the two injured skaters from the crowd. Buddy Atkinson being taken over to the trainer's table. Hal Janowitz is on his feet and skating on the track. He apparently is going to stay in the game. idea how badly Buddy was hurt, but he's still shaking his head a little groggily down there at the trainer's table. Well, the skaters are moving again, and the time clock is running. And back to roller derby action we go. Butch Nur breaks out in front. Nur for the Ravens, number 55, is the lead jammer, and here he comes. He has the lead all to himself now. Now Mike Gammon breaks out of the pack, number 25 for the Chiefs. So each team has one jammer out there. There was a penalty called on Julian Silva on that last play. The Ravens are skating one man short. An illegal block by Julian Silva. Nur moves up on Gene Gammon now. Looks for a way to get by. Gammon's a pretty big, tough man to try and pass. Wills is blocked into the rail by Gatchel and goes down. And Nur picked up 1 point and then called it off. Number 28, Ken Willis, was knocked down against the rail by Billy Gatchel. Sort of returning the favor from an earlier block by Willis that allowed Gatchel to be scored on. And that ties the score now at 32-32. We have 4.5 minutes remaining in the game. It's still anybody's contest. Roller derby thrills right down to the wire. As Willis and Gatchel have been belting each other around in this second half. All right, the skaters circling the track. There are now 2 members of the Ravens in the penalty box. There are, however, 4 on the track. I guess it was just a visiting session. As Frank Macedo is out and on the track, the teams once again are at full strength. There's nobody in either penalty box now. Buddy Atkinson Jr., number 24, has returned to his team's bench. He's okay. Here's the action. Dave Battersby of the Ravens, number 54, breaks out in front. Number 56, Frank Macedo, goes with him. Nobody out for the Chiefs yet, as Janowitz blocks back on Joe Rabin. Now Gardner blocks on Janowitz, and lets Rabin get out. But there are 2 Ravens out in the lead. 2 Raven jammers being chased by Gardner. And now both the Chief jammers are out there with Gardner. There's Macedo leading. And Battersby in second place as the 2 jammers out for the Ravens. Gene Gammon drops back to block as they move up on him. Gammon waits. He blocks on Battersby. He goes inside. Macedo goes by for 2 points. He has 2. And he cut it off. He cut it off, I think, before Mike Gammon of the Chiefs could get by for a point as he came up at the rear of the pack. 2 points for Frank Macedo. His 5th and 6th of the game. 2 minutes, 35 seconds left to go. The Ravens lead 34-32 over the Chiefs now. It is now conceivable that the Ravens could use time to their advantage and kill the clock. The strategy here would be, if they could get the lead on the jam, use up some time and then call it off. They could make time definitely work in their favor. Watch and see now what Coach Hal Janowitz of the Ravens has his team doing. They are moving, and Janowitz is out in front of the blocking spot, and Butch Nur of the Ravens gets out in front. Battersby goes out with him. Jay Shaw trying to get out, number 29 for the Chiefs. Can't get by Janowitz. The Ravens have the lead on the jam with 1 minute and 52 seconds remaining. Now if they can hold that lead and then cut it off, they can make time work very definitely in their favor. Shaw finally gets out for the Chiefs now, and he's out against 2 Raven skaters. Here comes Mike Gammon out of there, and the Ravens have the lead. Butch Nur is out in front. 1 minute and 34 seconds left in the game. 34-32, the Ravens lead. Fine blocking by Battersby now, and Nur continues to hold the lead. He may not have to cut it off at all. Nur is moving up on Gene Gammon. Gammon waiting for him. Gammon now blocking on Nur, and Nur cuts it off as Jay Shaw was catching up. There's the strategy. He used up as much time as he possibly could and then called off the jam. Only the leading jammer can call it off. And that puts the pressure really on the Chiefs now, as the Ravens lead 34-32, and we have less than a minute to go in the game. Less than a minute left. 45 seconds now to play. The Ravens have the 2-point lead. There's the whistle that will send them out. Buddy Atkinson Jr. is back in the game now. He's okay for the Chiefs after being shaken up. Nobody out on the jam yet. The jam time has not started. They have less than half a minute to go in the game. Janowitz goes out in front now as a blocker. Still no jammers out. 20 seconds to go in the contest. 34-32, the Ravens lead it. Time running out on the Chiefs. It's doubtful now that they would be possibly able to score even a single point. 10 seconds to go in the game. Still no jammer out there. Everybody standing in the infield as time is running out. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Time is up. The Ravens win it 34-32. The strategy department worked that time for the Ravens as they battled it out, and the Ravens finally won it. The game is all over, and the final score in this game is the Ravens 32-4, the Ravens 34, the Chiefs 32. And whenever and wherever roller derby appears in your vicinity, we hope we'll see you at trackside.